October 2022. Autumn started. What are they gonna do to us this year, you may think? What's gonna happen this year? What's gonna come on my path? What's gonna disrupt again life? Because we're clearly not going back to the old ways. Yeah, we're not going back. There's no going back. There's only going forward. And in this video I will dive into this, and it's going to be a contemplation video. I will share a few things that you can do that will help you to get through this period, and not just October but the coming months. And if at the end you feel like, yes, I do get it, but I don't know how to do this, well, then you can always contact me and I can guide you, either through mentoring or through coaching when it comes to, for example, dealing with specific issues in your life. A blockage, for example, a trauma that maybe you're not even aware what the trauma is, but you feel like, I feel that resistance there. There's this thing that I freak out when somebody just says that word or touches me somewhere, or I start to see something or smell something, like, I feel all this, and it doesn't let me breathe and I cannot move forward. Well, that's because there is a blockage somewhere, something happened, and I can guide you to find it and heal it. That's how we release our blockages. So don't be afraid to ask for help. It's only the smart people who ask for help. It's the stupid people who think they can do everything by themselves. They think they're so smart they can figure out everything by themselves. But those are actually the most stupid people in the world. And they're the ones who live the most horrible lives in the end. Even if to the outside world they try to make it look fantastic, but deep inside it's a burning fire that's eating them up. I mean, look at the truly successful people who are happy, who are relaxed. Those are the people who have at any time at least one coach or a mentor, because they know that asking for help, sometimes guidance, sometimes just a sounding board, a mirror that's being held in front of them, that helps them to move forward, to see what they do not see, the things they overlook, their blind spots. So stay tuned and let's dive into this. Like, subscribe and share. Hi, my name is Lotfi Murad, and today I would like to talk to you about the energies that play during the month of October, and more importantly, where I believe that you should put your focus. So, the fall has started. Summer has ended. Less pleasurable weather is starting, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. And so your emotional states may go a little bit down. At least that's what I experienced, that I do not really like the colder months, the darker months. Although today there is some nice sunshine. And if you're living in the Southern Hemisphere, then you're coming out of darkness, coming into the light. And the interesting thing is that both things are happening at the same time on this planet. And humanity is connected. It has one consciousness. Not everyone is connected to it consciously, so subconsciously we are connected, but not all of us are aware of this. And it's just like everywhere where you look you see polarity. Masculine, feminine, darkness, light, left, right. It's everywhere, good and bad, however you want to call it. Yet it's all connected and also all part of the one. Because we would not be humans if you would take out one of the aspects. then something would be wrong. There would be a lack of balance. You know the yin-yang sign. There's a reason why they designed it the way they designed it. There's a reason why when they talk about the sacred energies, sacred masculine, sacred feminine, they have the two snakes going around each other. Fun thing is that when it comes to modern medicine, the pharmacy has just one of them. And that is basically telling you that medicine is just half of what you need when you don't feel well. And no, it's not another discussion or a discussion for another time. In almost all my videos, I talk about the connection through the heart, the connection with ourselves, with our heart, with our soul, with our inner child, and also talk about connecting through the heart with others. And I talk about inner peace. And I talk about how the problems we have a root source. And for example, most medicines are just looking at the symptoms. Most doctors are looking at the symptoms. Rare are those who actually look at, but where is it really coming from? And I've come to learn through experience that every physical imbalance we have has its root source in an emotional imbalance, an energetic imbalance. And I may link a few videos in the description if I remember, or if I feel that after this video it's worth it. On the other hand, I could also say you will probably come across it if you are ready to see it. Just like I'm ready to see certain things today, so I see them, although they have been published maybe months or years ago. But back then I was not ready to see it. But today I am, so today I see it. But what's important for this month, October 2022, there is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is something we can be open to, we can focus on. Let go of inadequacy. Just focus on how can I make the best with what I have today. Because there are obstacles everywhere and there will be more obstacles coming. Because we are in a period of major change. Those who are into astrology know this. That there are big changes happening. Not just one, multiple changes. And it's not the planets who we should blame. We shouldn't blame anybody anyway. Astrology is just a representation of where we are and what we're going through. It's not because the planets are moving in a certain way that we are going through something. No, it's just how the universe is connected. And astrology is just seeing this and representing it through planets and a chart and things like that. Because that helps people to understand, people who need to see diagrams. That's something I've come to see a few years back. Just came to me that astrology and many other sciences who talk about dates, who talk about let's say, boxes and fields and stuff like that, and the date that you're born and things like that, it is because everything is connected. And so things that are tangible to us, like dates, like astronomical charts, which are interpreted through astrology, but the astronomical is basically where are the planets in the sky in relation to us and the sun and things like that. Because everything is connected, that is something visible. And then there are people who understand and who can translate or connect, like certain positions of certain planets mean they're related to certain energies. So if you see the planets there, then you know, like, oh, these are the energies or kinds of emotions that I should pay attention to, because they're gonna be very dominant or totally lacking. So just like a map, also the gene keys or human design are similar. They're not predicting anything. It's not like, oh, but they say it's like this or it has been. No, it's just showing you a map. It's to get clarity about yourself, about your life, about what you're going through. Just to get clarity. And sometimes they show you like, okay, this may be, because they're not absolute truths, this may be something that's really present in your life, or this can be your potential. And so I have been listening to several people who are talking about the energies that play, the changes, and I felt to make this video because there are a lot of changes happening and a few basic things keep coming back. So predicting what's going to happen, for those who know astrophysics and who go deep into that, they know that from every single moment on forward, an infinite number of possibilities are there. So an infinite number of realities, universes are created, timelines are created. So you cannot say things will go exactly that way. There are possibilities. Even the people who predict the future, there are possibilities. So part of what they predict happens, sometimes exactly, sometimes partially, sometimes it doesn't happen. But what's important is that you and I, living today, not knowing what the future will bring us, find a way to deal with all the changes that are happening, all the uncertainties, and that we do through grounding, connecting with our heart and soul, being really in the here and now, being in our bodies, and then we have access to universal consciousness, to universal knowledge, to universal wisdom. And then we know each moment which way to go. To act, not to act, how to act. And for the past few months I have been working with some refugees, and there is like a core group that always comes back, or it's like almost every week is there. And what I see is a transformation. And these are Ukrainian refugees. They came to here, to Romania, because we have a long border with Ukraine. Their country is in chaos. People's lives are literally threatened every day. So they may be safe here, but most of the husbands had to stay there, or the older sons had to stay there. Many of their friends and relatives could not move, so there's a constant fear. There's also the pain of whatever they built up throughout the years is being destroyed, that they may not be able to go back to the homes because the homes may not be there anymore, or they simply may not be able to go back at all because there's nothing to go back to. Or it will be so horrible that they don't want to go back. But then people they love are still there. And then they are on several social media and in different communication groups like WhatsApp groups, Instagram, Telegram, whatever people are using, and information keeps coming to them about all the horrors, and some things are really horrific. Seeing a mother sitting with a child on her head, in her arms, and the child is not just dead, the head has disappeared, blown away. And yes, you need to hear this, because you need to know what war is actually doing. It's not something that's happening somewhere far away. It's the reality of today, that in Europe there's a war going on between two groups of people who love power, and the Ukraine is caught in the middle. And so, how do I help these people? How do I help them manage their stress, build a new kind of life, and maybe even laugh sometimes? Well, most of the workshops, we spent a big part of the time doing grounding exercises and practices, relaxation exercises, like meditating, or sometimes just laying still, sitting still. And this week was interesting because the two adjacent rooms were very noisy. One room there were 3 children who somehow decided to play very noisy games. In the other room there were 3 or 4 people having discussions about things that needed to be ready that evening. And so we had to start meditating. When I was meditating, there was a lot of noise around us. But that was interesting, because in real life we always have something going on around us. So how do we self-center? How do we come back to ourselves? In a world where crazy things keep happening, and some people are spending all their energy on inventing new crazy things to happen, how do we stay sane, healthy, and calm? By working on our inner peace, by practicing, by consciously choosing what do we let in and what do we keep out. I do not watch mainstream media, because the mainstream media is only talking about horror and disaster. Alternative media is generally saying that everything from the mainstream media is wrong, is false. So also there I keep it out. I hear through some people things that are happening. When something is really important, it will come to me. What I focus more on is the beautiful things that are happening. The things that people are doing who are not following the narrative, who are not following the politicians, but who act from here and decide to create something beautiful for themselves and for the fellow humans, or for the environment, for the animals, for nature. And that gives me energy, and that's where I focus my energy. where I focus my attention, where I put my time. Just like working with these refugees. I see how they're changing. Several of them are rebuilding a brand new life here. A life that's better than what they used to have before the war even. Because they took the opportunity to start from scratch. With the experience that they have and with all the new things that are on their path today. Yes, refugees are being offered help. The smart ones use it to grow. The stupid ones ignore it or just consume it and that's it. But the smart ones look at what is possible. Oh, I never got to get my university degree or to get my master's degree. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, I always wanted to improve my English because, as you know, in the Ukraine, Russian is the second language and in many areas even the first language. And Ukrainian was the second language. So people are learning languages. People are using the opportunity to travel to other countries that they always wanted to move to or at least visit, and they can choose in many cases in which country they want to be a refugee. And these people take the opportunity to make something good out of all the horror. And that's the thing. When there is change, there is death of the old and then birth of the new. But we cannot hold on to the old until the new is completely formed, because the new will come in the place of the old. And that's why resistance is futile. Okay, some Star Trek fans are like, oh yeah, the Borg. Well, resistance is futile because change is happening, whether you like it or not. If you resist it, you'll have hell, shit, crap, pain, horror in your life. But if you go with the flow, things will get easier, things will go smoother, and then you step into the new. And you can experience the new and start to live it and integrate it. Trying to hold on to the old does not work. Just look at your parents, at your grandparents, great-grandparents. They were all upset, most of them upset, like, oh, back in the day things were better. What is this? Oh, these things are so stupid. But then life didn't stop. They could not stop the change. They could not stop the evolution. Hell, Russia tried it with communism. China tried it with communism. But they had to change. They had to adapt because the world was changing, the global energy was changing. So things changed also in these countries. Yeah, there's still a lot of control and stuff, but a lot of things have changed and are still changing because we cannot hold on to the old. And even if you live in a Western country, change is happening. Not all of it is good, but change is happening. And then you can fight it, you can resist it, or you can follow the flow and maybe adapt the flow. If you're like, okay, there is some good in this, but it's going the wrong, okay, then try to, it's easier to make small changes in how the river goes than to completely block the river and say, no, it will not go anywhere, it will just stop here. You will stop all the water. No, that's almost impossible. So for this month, I recommend you spend some time each day grounding, meditating, relaxing, recentering. And I'm looking at the 5 different energies that are at play this month, and they all come back to that. If you connect through here, you will be able to handle what's coming on your path. If you stay up here, you think that you can handle it, and at a certain moment you will hit a wall. If not this month, then next month. But you will get in trouble. And eventually you'll learn that your mind cannot control everything. Hell, you have zero control over where the world is going. You can only influence a bit. And you can influence a lot your own life by being connected through here. If this makes some kind of sense to you, but still not fully, if you do not really know how to connect through here, contact me, ask me. I have plenty of videos where I share different aspects, but if you feel that you need some guidance, you need some mentoring maybe, or you feel that there is a strong blockage within you and you want it to be removed, well, I can guide you through that. So simply contact me and we can work together. That's what I do for myself. I do ask for help when I do not know how to do things, and then I get the guidance I need. And that's how I have been growing and evolving throughout my life, but mainly from 2004, when I consciously chose to change things in my life and to take action on them. I wish you a beautiful day and hope to see you soon. Like, subscribe, and share.